New York is the new focus of attention for foreign real estate investors. Eastern European clients and Gulf sovereign wealth funds in particular are registering heavy interest in the US property market as their interest shifts away from Europe. That's the recent experience of my next guest. He's Edward Mermelstein, from one of Manhattan's leading real estate lawyers who specializes in massive deals for Eastern European clientele. Edward joins us now from our Moscow newsroom. Edward, many thanks indeed for joining us. So why this sudden interest again in US real estate?
Thank you for having me, Darcy. It's very much a unique opportunity right now. We're seeing something we haven't seen in over 20 years since the last real estate crisis back in 89, 91. This is a situation that presents itself to clients who take advantage of down markets, and the Russians are the ones with cash right now.
And when we look at those buyers from Russia, who are they typically?
Well, typically high net worth individuals. There are certain funds that have shown interest as well, but again, most of those funds are at the end controlled by individuals that funded those funds.
So basically it's the oligarchs mostly who seem to have come through the savage downturn pretty unscathed, it would seem.
It does seem that way, and they've presented themselves in a very positive position lately, as well as a very strong position in terms of being able to make purchases all cash.
And when we look at the potential deals in New York, are we essentially focusing on real estate, or is it a real mixture between real estate and commercial as well?
Well, we are seeing quite a bit of interest outside of real estate. It's still a learning curve. Most foreigners, especially from Eastern Europe, have to first understand the political and economic concepts that are associated with buying as a foreigner before they can enter the market at the level that some of these people are looking to enter our market.
And as far as the Russians are concerned, why is it now they focus their attention on the US, whereas a few years ago they were very much preoccupied with opportunities, say, in London?
Again, it's very much an issue of value. Right now we're seeing in certain ways a deterioration of equity in many different parts of our market. So, for example, real estate in parts of New York has suffered a 20 to 30% drop, and possibly another 5% coming. With that said, that there's a lot of interest from purchasers who can make all cash purchases, which puts them in a much better position than most of the local purchasers that are looking for bank assistance.
And also the Gulf sovereign wealth funds, they are additionally showing interest in New York real estate. What type of assets typically for them?
Very much on the commercial end, and that has to do more with the fact that they are already heavily vested in our market. So the fact that they own some large chunks of our commercial real estate properties in both New York as well as across the country, they're looking to just reposition themselves, if you want to call it dollar cost average, to a position where they remain strong in the market.
I mean, obviously the Qatari investors, they bought into Harrods for around 1.5 billion in London. On a similar basis, are they looking for trophy assets in New York as well?
Well, they already own many trophy assets in New York, so it's just a question of repositioning those assets in terms of buying back the loans at a lower number, or buying other assets that are having trouble right now, which is almost every property that's been purchased in the last 2 to 3 years, especially in places like New York, Manhattan especially.
One final question for you, Ed. Why are these investors focusing their attention, if you like, on New York, part of the developed world, not concentrating their firepower on emerging markets, on real estate opportunities, whether they be in India or China or elsewhere in the emerging market sphere?
Well, emerging markets have tended to show quite a bit of risk associated with the market. So when we're talking about areas like New York that over long periods of time have shown to be a very stable investment, and getting in to what is perceived as the bottom of the market right now, we are seeing a lot of upside in the near future.
All right, that's where we're going to have to leave it. My thanks there to Edward Mermelstein, joining us from Moscow. Now, more emerging markets analysis coming up today on Insider at 13G. RBC Capital Markets strategist Nigel Rendell analyses the broader threat Romania's debt problems pose to risk appetite in emerging Europe. I'm Darcy Lampson, and this is Reuters.